All right, welcome everyone. We are back for another podcast. I got Brenden Tieger joining us from the West Coast. We're in the UK at the moment. Brenden, how's it going?
Good, man. What about yourself?
Very well, very well. Living the dream, playing poker, traveling the world, all good. I'm not complaining. I know you also play some poker. You also travel a lot. You got a very interesting from what we don't know each other personally, but I keep in touch and I follow along with you, and you look like you are always moving and shaking. So for those that maybe aren't familiar with you, you check him out. We'll show you his Instagram and his he has a YouTube channel and other stuff, but give us a little bit of background on who is Brenden Tieger on Instagram, and what do you do? Who are you? Where did you come from? Give us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, for sure. But before I go into that fully, my lifestyle is complete opposite of Jess. He plays poker for a living. I have an awesome living, so I get to play poker. And I guess that's why we got to hit it off really well on social media. But my name is Brenden Tieger. I'm 26 years old. I guess the best way to explain me is I'm an entrepreneur. I got started in the whole business of owning my own business like 6 years ago. And I really blew up in like the social media space, the e-commerce space, the marketing space. And just recently, I actually just got back from Australia about 6 months ago. And that's actually where I picked up poker because I lived there for 3 years. And if you guys know anything about poker in Australia, yeah, I came to America as a degenerate because poker in Australia is fire. But when I came here, I noticed that influencers and YouTubers were like the kings of everything at this point. Social status and social media is pretty much up there when it comes to any type of business whatsoever. Like you're seeing Jeff right now host this thing. Like this is social. Like it's insane. Like, and this is helping poker get out there. This is helping every industry get out there. But that's my background. I know how to get things out there. So yeah,
that's awesome. It's true. It really is about what's going on these days. What part of Australia were you in?
Oh, I was in Gold Coast and then Brisbane. But I traveled to Sydney and Melbourne a lot, so I definitely played a bunch at a lot of those star casinos and stuff like that.
Very cool. And what's the so give us what the poker you're mostly cash games then, or do you play some tournaments ever, or what do you like? What's your favorite game of choice?
Oh, lately 5-card PLO. Yeah, again, degenerate.
5 cards. Wow, really going for it. I don't even play that. That is a little degen in there.
Give me that deep freaking 5-10 5-card PLO deep stack. Oh,
that's your go-to. I love it. So in Vegas, you actually reside now in Vegas, but you split time. What's the breakdown of time of year? LA, Vegas.
Probably about 20 days in Vegas for every month and 10 days in California. But then obviously I travel a bunch, so I get to go check out a bunch of casinos while I travel and stuff. So I've played at a lot of places. Like I run into a lot of pros in Vegas, which is really cool. But, obviously they're just doing their thing. I'm not a poker player. I am a poker player. I don't think I'm not a professional poker player.
It's a hobby. It's a strong hobby for you.
Oh, dude, if I could just do it full time, I'd love to. But, guys got to work.
Yeah, it's all exactly. It's fun, man. That's great. Well, yeah, we'll have to next time I'm in Vegas, I'll make sure we link up, or LA. I'll check in and we'll try to play some cards, meet up, have some fun. What's the longest session you've ever played? What's the longest you've ever got to a casino and you just ran it?
13 hours.
It's a nice session. Booked a win, I hope.
Oh yeah, no, crushed it.
Yeah, that's the ones that think are going well. What's the best session you've ever had? Like bought in for 1,000 or 2 and took. I've seen some good sessions lately. I've seen on your Instagram. You've had some nice wins.
I've had some decent wins recently, but I think my biggest one was I bought in for 10K, walked out with a little over 40. But that was and believe it or not, that was a 1-2 PLO game. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. That's awesome, man. That's a lot of fun. What to you because I want to hit on the business stuff. I just want to talk a lot of our audience is generally poker, but it's always, it's interesting, people doing cool stuff. Tell me a little bit about being someone who doesn't play professionally. When you go to a live casino and you're playing, do you feel that it's fun? Do you feel like the games are generally inviting for someone that's not a professional, or is there a lot of tanking? Is it too serious? Do you feel like it's not enjoyable, or a lot? I mean, obviously you like poker, but how does that feel when you go step into like the Win or Encore the Encore poker room and like you're playing? Generally, what's the vibe for you? How do you like it?
I mean, for me, it's my vibes are like my vibe doesn't get affected by people who are sitting down. Like in poker, the whole point is to find your edge, right? And like my edge is what most people see as their, I don't know, their living, their rent, their mortgage is on the table. Like I play a little bit. I use what you would call unicorn math a lot. A lot of people use the statistics and math a lot, but like I don't know. I get excited when I go sit down with a bunch of full timers, people that play full time, because I'm just sitting there because I don't know. I don't think I've tilted in over 2 years. Like I'm always in a good vibe. When I sit down, I'm ready to lose the money that I have, but obviously put my best. But like I don't know, the energy's pretty good. I mean, I think you get what you give, so I think that's fine.
Okay, well, beautiful. All right, so let's dive in a little bit now. You come over. What year did you come to the U.S.? When did you actually make that move?
I came back to the U.S. about 6 months ago, but I moved to America when I was like 3 or 4 from Korea. Yeah.
Oh, Korea, really? Which part of Korea?
Daegu, South Korea.
You got any? I'm actually going to Korea for the first time in February, so I'm gonna have to hit you for some suggestions. I'm sure. Have you been to Jeju or have you been back to Seoul?
Been to Jeju, Seoul, everywhere. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's another thing. You got to give me some hot tips, man. I'm like breaking the chair. I heard Korea is amazing, so I'm looking forward to going over there. Yeah, it's a good place, enjoyable spot.
Yeah, you'll love it. It's super technologically advanced. Like I remember when I was like 12 when I was visiting, they already had FaceTime and public Wi-Fi and internet. So it's insane. 12, so that's 14 years ago. So yeah, like
they're ahead of the game, way ahead.
I think that a statistic is they're 7 years ahead in technology to the U.S. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. Okay, so all right, you moved to Vegas, and how did you like? I'm looking here at your social media account, and it's impressive. I mean, you have a big following. I see that you have a lot of interesting stuff. You do a lot of giveaways. It seems like your energy it just seems very. Immediately I can kind of tell you're someone that just seems very positive, very upbeat. You post a lot of sort of, like inspirational sort of messages and these type of things. Have you always been like that? And what got you to head into this industry? You said you noticed that this is kind of where the world's going, but like when you got to the US, and at what point did you sort of make the move into getting into some of these type of social businesses and social media?
Well, I've been using social media to grow my businesses for about like 5 years now, right? But I never focused on like becoming like a brand or an influencer. I was always building the businesses or building the brands. But when I got back, I had an opportunity to work with like big YouTubers like Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Tana Mojo, Tanner Fox, like all these big time YouTube celebrities. And I just didn't let it go to waste. Like these guys are young, but these guys are multi-millionaires. Like they're moguls in their industry. Like they might be entertainers to us or celebrities to us, but they're big time freaking businessmen. Like all of them. It's insane.
It is its own world. It's wild. I see here you're sitting here with Logan Paul. And how do you when you work? You say you do work with these guys. What are you doing specifically? You're building, like, are you on a day-to-day party? Talk to me a little bit about like what your actual business is then. So what's your relationship, or how does it work with, like, let's just take one of these big name guys like Logan Paul is obviously people know him in the space. Like what specifically are you working with or collaborating with him on, or is he more of a friend, mentor? Like how does that?
So Logan is Jake Paul's brother, right? So I got to work with Jake Paul on the Tana and Jake Paul wedding, which was a huge event. It was like the Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie event of YouTube. Like it was like the biggest thing. And I got to partner up on that, and that allowed me to get into all their networks and integrate like my industry with theirs. Because a lot of these guys, what they do is they get like huge brand deals and stuff like that. But if a brand's willing to pay you $5, $10, $15, $20,000, they're probably making 20, 50, 100, maybe $1 million bucks, or they wouldn't keep on doing it, right? My world is building businesses and brands, so like I actually know the actual cost of these products that they're selling using their names and their brand, right? So my whole intent after I got into that field is, why not help these YouTubers, instead of just taking brand deals, see if those are profitable products, source them, have them actually own the business, and help them build build an actual brand and business that they own, instead of just like, whore out their name when they don't need to do that. Like brand deals are going to dry up eventually, right? Like it's not going to be a forever thing, but you can build up a business and sell it and actually become an entrepreneur.
And So give us an example. How many people are in your team? How have you expanded? And what advice would you give to someone? Because this is a cool thing where, you know, you probably, I would imagine you're working, you don't work 9 to 5. You kind of like, we're on the move, you're on the go, you're working when you want, probably work more than even 9 to 5, right? Like that's how I feel. I don't have a set time, but it's cool because you can always do what you want when you want. You can go hang out, you can go take a day off or 3 days off, but you could work 18, 20 hours a day, you know, it's just at your own speed. So how do you find like a schedule, balance that, and how do you manage a team, and how many people are on your team? It's a lot of questions, but give us a little bit of look inside your network of how it works.
Okay, easiest question to answer first. So numbers of people on my team. So probably about my media team consists of about 7 people. I have a full-time production and media team. I've got a team of probably 2 to 3 that handle all the social sides of things when it comes to like funnels and stuff like that. My partner in that is insane. And then day to day is like being like, you just gotta be on call. Like you never know. Like it's 24/7. It's not a 9 to 5. It's a freaking 12 to 12. You know, like. The freedom is good because there are some days where it could be like you're working maybe a couple hours, but then, you know, it's a business. Like there's always fires to put out. Like that's just life. And yeah, like day to day. I can't give you a day to day answer. You can't even give me a day to day answer. You never.
I can't. But that's why sometimes I'm curious. I'm just curious though. So like when you go and wake, like you try to get out, are you an early morning person? Does it depend? Because sometimes you probably play poker very late or whatnot, but generally you try to get up and get moving and get your day going early.
Yeah, I noticed myself being way more productive if I'm up before like 7 o'clock. Mm-hmm. But again, yeah, obviously there are days that I have a late night session and I'm still awake at 7 o'clock, and I'm one of those guys that like don't go to bed in the daytime, so like I'll just push on through. Like
no naps.
No, yeah, I'm not one of those guys. So like, I'll play a session from like 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. and then I'll just freaking, you know, get some coffee and act like I went to bed, and then go to bed at the normal time
and run through it. I love it. Tell me a little bit about this ELXL. What does that stand for? What is it?
It stands for E-Label. So that's one of my newest projects that I'm working on, and that's focused on building people's businesses and brands, and really just turning people from like, I guess, turning their skill set into something that it can be monetized correctly, like whether your talent or whether you have a skill set where you know how to make money online, or whether you have something to teach, whether it's like flipping shoes, or it could be credit repair, it could be e-commerce, whatever it is. But our label, it's basically an entrepreneur label, like a record label, but for entrepreneurs type of thing. Since I got so lucky to be connected with these huge influencers, not everyone and anybody can just get connected with them and like try to work with them or do deals with them, but that's where, like, again, our edge is. So basically we connect the biz op world with this new influencer world that's really just taking over.
And how important is crossover? You know, that's something I'm really looking at trying to do more of, because I think it's super interesting. Also why I created this podcast channel, where I didn't want to have it Jeff Gross. I have a YouTube channel, Jeff Gross Poker, but I didn't want to just do podcasts on that channel because I didn't want to be pigeonholed to poker. Right? Like here we're talking, you play some poker, but I like talking to people that are successful, motivated, hungry to create in different industries. So for example, is that something that you look to do, is really like cross network with different industries and different people? Can you talk a little about strategy on how that works? Like how you might connect some YouTubers or people of different genres together? Is that a big thing, a big strategy?
Yeah. So like for me, like collaboration is key always, no matter what. Like what takes somebody from zero to hero in any type of like social platform is virality and collaboration. Those two things. Right. You do something that gets caught by a mass amount of people's attention, or you're going to collaborate with somebody and you cross over your audiences and see what happens there, what magic can happen there, right? So like, I think one of the best examples, it's like, remember the good old days when everyone just played live huge cash games, and then the internet players started playing with the old school players? Like once Tom Dwan started mixing with freaking the freaking Phil Ivies and the freaking Doyle Barnes. Yeah. And that's when poker became freaking, what was that? That's the golden age of poker, right? Or was that the silver age? I don't know.
It's in that. Yeah, it was a medal. It was on the podium. It was big. It was a big moment and very high interest. And you merge two different worlds, and then now someone who doesn't know Doyle Brunson knows him, and Tom Dwan, the older guys, like, whoa, who's this? So yeah, that's a great example. I get it. Makes sense. So that, and is that something your group, do you guys look to make those connections? Is that something you are actually, is that part of the e-label?
Always, always, because not just the e-label side, right? Like anything like, so basically what we try to do is integrate these influencers with audiences, because the influencer world is so different, because basically normally when you build a business or company or product, you then try to find an audience to sell it to. When you're an influencer, you have the audience and people that want to buy something from you, and then you have to decide what you want to sell them. Like it's a complete 180. So when you bring them together, you get something pretty epic.
Give me a bit of an idea on the scale of, I think it's sort of similar with, you hear numbers like Ninja on Twitch, and some of these guys making 30, 40 million a year. And I know also, I mean, there's pockets, I imagine, different sections of the, Logan Paul's, and then there's like the guys like Wanpa and those, I know some of those guys through a friend of mine, and Carmela Rose and some of these other YouTube big Latin American stars. Like, giving me an idea on the scope of what type of money is funneling through and some of these people. If obviously if specifically one of these, I'm not asking you for their salary, but just give me like a range on that industry, like what the top people are making, and how massive it really is. Cause it's almost like how the new Hollywood, like even at the Academy or the awards, they were joking, like no one's watching movies, no one's watching TV, which isn't totally true, but it kind of is true, right? Netflix, these series, even mainstream actors are moving to these shows. And then you got the YouTube stars that, the kids are watching. Like young kids aren't watching these. They're not watching TV. They're watching YouTube and stuff. So tell me how big this is and what kind of scale is it?
Well, for example, there's a 80-year-old kid that reviews toys that made 20 million last year just off of ads. That's not including merchandise. That's not including brand deals. That's not including everything else. So just off of Google AdSense, just for views, $20 million.
Right.
So then you look at people like, people that are older, like the Jake Pauls that are macro influencers and Logan Pauls and stuff like that. Well, they're a bit older, so they might not have made as much off AdSense this year, but they own businesses. They work with a lot of companies. Like they have that business savviness, or they have managers that do that too. So like people don't really ever understand how big these guys are making it, because like when they just hear, oh yeah, they made $10 million off YouTube this year. Wow, that's crazy. Well, that's not the only income stream that they have. Like it's a lot bigger than people give credit for, but even what they give credit for, it's already pretty freaking big.
It's similar on Twitch too, because that's a question I get asked a lot. How much money do you make on Twitch or YouTube? But it's not really about that, because the truth is it's not glamorous a lot of the time, but that's how you get your name out there, right? That's how you get the affiliate deals. That's how you get the sponsorships, the other deals. Like that's where the real money is. But if you actually look at what the money is off of specifically that, it may not sound quite as dramatic or as good as it really is. And that it's super interesting. And how are these guys having agents? Like most of these guys have agents at this point?
Yeah, they have managers, agents, teams, legal teams. Like they're a business. Like literally, you think of any big YouTuber, they have a company name that's their name that ends with LLC. Like they're a brand, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's crazy. Like what's it called? Like you see how, like, I just thought of this, and this might sound a little off topic, but like it's like you have to keep up with the trend, right? Like I just noticed yesterday that basically it went from like documenting how people are playing on their computer for online poker. Now I'm seeing smartphone poker apps being freaking screen recorded and being uploaded, and people love that stuff. Like you should see the views on just Instagram, IGTV right now. And I'm just, dude, this is the next stage of online poker. It's the phone poker. I'm like, oh my God, like, this is crazy. Like,
give me an example of someone you've seen doing that, because so for Party Poker, for example, they have a brand new app, because it's kind of archaic. Like even the major brand stars, Party Poker, 888, these ones, they have a mobile client, but it's not good. It's like from old software. It's not that fun, interactive. Now, you look at Zyngas and these other sites, there's like, they've got this like crazy interactive fun. You can throw stuff at people, you can talk, and video recording, all this. So now Party just released this in the first step, but It is. It's like game changing. Like me as someone who like loves poker, I would say like that it was like a 20 out of 100, and now it's like a 95 all of a sudden, and that's a big deal because mobile that's what people are doing, right? They're on the subway, they're on their way to work, they're messing around, they're in an Uber, and they're going to play. Like not everyone's sitting playing 10-hour, 8-hour sessions online. And this is the future. So where have you seen that? Because I've seen it and it's brand new. But like, are you seeing
party poker team?
Yeah, just Jamie, because he's
just seeing his views, like especially like I'm not saying just for a poker player, but like poker players aren't like entertainers, right? Like players. So like when I see on IGTV, I'm seeing Jamie Staples playing on the Party Poker app, and I'm seeing 20,000 views, which compared to YouTube and these celebrities, like it might not be insane, but when it comes to being a poker player online, which again, you guys are not entertainers, you guys are poker players. You guys are there to
trade. There's some, and I think that's the key, right? Because would you rather see the #1 poker player in the world playing? And that might be an extreme because that would be like if you see Fedor or some Dan Coleman or one of these guys, like you're gonna tune in or Negreanu or whatever. But like say like a world-class player who's not entertaining, engaging, it's not gonna be that fun, or it doesn't work. You're gonna have kind of a hybrid mix. But yeah, to your point, you're right. That's not by trade. That's not like what they're not that's not their main focus is that. So, but you're saying you see that app or seeing that on there, and that to you is that hits home.
That shift it's happening right now. Like I saw it starting about. I was in Australia, right? So I got introduced to Triple P, like just some app club games that everyone's on, and I'm like, oh, cool. And then there's a guy that manages it. Started playing it, and then next thing I know, I'm not going to the casino as much. I'm playing at home while I can work at the same time, while I can cook my food at the same time, while I can freaking watch TV at the same time. Like
if you think about it, you're talking about saving hours of travel. Like even it starts and then also that you can actually have better games because the proximity now. You're not just going to the Aria or the Encore and playing against happen to be at the table. Like you might be playing people in the world. The online poker sort of took a big dive. I mean, it did. Black Friday, right? I mean, Australia shut down. I think yours was 2 years ago or so, where they like made it, they closed it, or 3 years ago. And then for the U.S., it was April 15, 2011, when they that was a huge deal. Liquidity, it shuts down the U.S. Things kind of shifted. Now you see Pennsylvania get legal, Michigan gets legal. I think New York, Massachusetts are coming up potentially, and there's already 5 states now. Party poker coming to Nevada, but I mean there's a big influx, and that's got a big opportunity, and that's cool to hear you say that. What's that?
How soon's Party Poker coming here? I'm trying to play that out, dude.
It is soon, I believe. There's it's not long. I think it's going to be. I saw articles about it. I'm here in the UK. I'll chat and see if they know any more specifics. But yeah, I mean, I would imagine within 2020 it'll be up and something running. So that'd be cool.
I'll start streaming.
You'll be ready for it. All right, let's go on here. So there's a lot of different things you're involved with. Tell me a little bit about what the giveaway gurus are, because I have seen this. It looks like it's a new thing, but it's pretty cool. Like it sounds like I actually know from a friend of mine that does. I'm pretty sure it's similar, and it's kind of like shout outs and those type of things where you can really pump up your exposure and just sort of my understanding how it works, but maybe you could give me a little more thorough target answer on what it is. What does that mean? What is giveaway gurus? How does it work? What's the idea?
Sure. So basically, like Instagram growth has changed immensely in the past year. For the past 5 years of me growing my Instagram, there's been tools like automation where you can like and comment based off hashtags, and a software does that on a computer, so you can grow your audience and have targeted leads, right? Well, Instagram recently got rid of all of that, and it's sort of basically no one knows how to grow their social medias anymore except for virality and collaboration once again. So the giveaway gurus, it's based off a giveaway system where we partner up with a celebrity, and that celebrity is willing to post on their social media and tell everyone to go follow a page and follow everyone that page is following for a chance to win X amount of money, merchandise, concert tickets, whatever it may be. We have a couple giveaways coming in this month. Like the big one is Jake Paul and Little Pump. You have to be a part of the giveaway. To get a slot, it's $10,000 to have a slot to be one of the people that all these people follow. But all these people that follow enter the giveaway to win a chance to win $10,000. Like it's basically the only way to grow on social media or to grow on Instagram right now, unless you're doing viral content 24/7.
And give me an idea, because there's so much of this stuff out here where you hear about these type of things and there's scams and there's like all this stuff. And, for me, I've done some advertising, paid, targeted stuff over my years, but I'm always very careful because I know of people, I even have friends, they have these accounts that are basically fake, or, you can get the followers jacked up, but then it doesn't really make sense, because then the amount of likes, it's not organic, right? It's like you're paying for something, it's fake, it's bots, it's all this shit. Like, never would want to do that. But I'm a big believer, if you have good content, if you're doing interesting stuff, it's like, it's fine to try to spend some money, promote, and get your awareness. So it sounds like what that is. But how does that ratio work? And what would you say? How true is that? Like, if it's some random person that's really not doing anything and they just want to be cool per se, or like get their page up and they just pay and do this, it's going to be different than someone that is doing stuff, has content, is active, right? Because if like you can get the follower growth to grow, but if you don't have any content or anything you're doing, it's just, people are going to go to follow the instructions, but then they may just unfollow or whatever. But give me a little bit of a rundown of how that works, and who is it made for specifically, or is it for anybody?
So I never recommend it to everybody. So it's for people that want to shoot their shot. I want to have a shot of being seen by immense amount of people and grab and keep their attention, right? So like, a giveaway isn't a solution to just become relevant or viral online. What it is that it gives you an influx of an audience of someone that you look up to, that's a celebrity, whatever it is, and then now it's your turn to captivate that audience. Put out the content, put out put in the time and hours. Like, when I got involved in this I got involved in the biggest giveaway last year. Like, it was with like over 67 influencers. It was like one of the biggest ones. It took me from like 40,000 people following me on Instagram to over 200,000 people following me on Instagram.
And how much?
A lot, like I think it was like 25,000. It was a lot of money. But what happened was, I actually retained the most out of all my peers that registered for this giveaway, because I got myself integrated into the storyline. I started working with the YouTubers. I started flying in to all the events. I started, documenting. I started doing podcasts, interviews, putting out content, working with them, and I maintained like 90% of the following. But you spent
how much on that?
$25,000.
And you think, and so that was, but for that, to go from 40 to over 200, that's a pretty serious jump. And that, that's that, and especially because, again, you have something, right? It's like in poker with coaching a course, or promoting something, or doing Twitch, or having ways to generate revenue. If you have a way to generate revenue and you have a product that's good, it makes sense then to spend some money, because it's just really you're getting the money back in theory, right? With that type of influx. So, give me an example on because I'm fascinated with this stuff. Honestly, I think it's very interesting. I have not done one of any of these type of things. So what's something coming up here? What's like the next promotion with the Giveaway Gurus? I saw you just officially are doing this now. What you said? There's one with Jake Paul or Logan Paul?
Yeah, there's one with Jake soon. I think that I have that all here. You can find it all over the page, I believe, but. The next one's with Jake, and that one's supposed to gain about 100,000, guaranteed like 100,000 followers. And like, one of the base things is like a good amount of growth. That's a good price. Like, what you're aiming for is about 10 cents a follower. Like, that's an insane price that you're getting. That's like how you want to measure if you're getting the right.
I feel like you're targeting me, man, because I have like a 40,000 following. You're kind of, you're pretty interested. So like, let's just take mine for example. So I have exactly 40,000 right in that zone. And again, I know we follow along with each other. I put a lot of content out. I got like poker hands and live stuff and interviews and podcasts. So I feel like I'm confident that my product's good, that like I would be interested to showcase it and get some more people involved. Give me an example. How does that work then? So if I were to go ahead and like you're saying, all right, when is that giveaway? When does that happen?
The Jake Paul one's the 20th, but there's actually one by a woman named Kimberly Loaiza. on the 15th, and she what's it called? Her estimated growth is about 250,000 followers, and it's actually
What's your name?
Kimberly Loaiza. I don't know how to really pronounce it, but the thing is, it's like with the poker community, doesn't poker have like a huge reach in like South Americas and stuff? Like
Yeah.
poker got really big, right? She's an international giveaway. So like she'll be doing this is one of the celebrities that we have a contract with that will be pushing out a giveaway for our company.
I see her right now. Loaiza, she's got 16 million, and she's an artist or what? She does music or?
I believe so. She's just
She does. Okay, I'm looking at her. She's got it looks like a very interesting big following. And how do you tell something like this? Because this is what I get tripped up on. There are some people that have like a 10 million, 15 million. Obviously the verified check mark makes you feel more comfortable, but how do you know someone's like they're legit, like their stuff's like really legit? Because what if is it more about like the engagement? You can see the amount of posts, the follows, the realness of it. Like, because I've seen accounts with 1 million followers, even someone I know that's like, it's so obvious, even just like not the fact that I know they wouldn't really have 1 million because of who, like it just, they paid for it, but they have no, it's like 12 comments for 1 million following, like, is there a way to sort of gauge and understand if someone's legit?
Yeah, yes and no, because like I used to think that too. Like I'm like, oh, their metrics don't line up, or the comments don't line up, oh, their likes don't line up. But then I realized, some people also fall out of relevancy, and also Instagram, the algorithm for Instagram is it's crap. Like the most amount of people that will see your stuff is maybe, I think they said it's like what, 7%, and when you pass 250,000 followers, unless people are literally searching for you in your bio 24/7, I think the reach drops all the way down to like 1 to 3%. Because basically, as your following goes up, they choke and they choke and they choke the percentage of how many people see your stuff. But more people will be seeing your stuff, but the percentage is much less.
That's interesting. So they really do throttle to that degree. Because I've actually seen some of my stories. Sometime, like I average, my stories are pretty consistent, good numbers, but there's times where I'll see it like they put at 1,000 and it just freezes at 1,000 for like hours or something, like where it doesn't move. And I'll like, but it's like weird. And then I just wonder on that too, like how they do that, or like that's just how it's done.
Yeah, so Instagram is owned by Facebook. Facebook is the king of ads. Like at the end of the day, these social media platforms, especially because they're free platforms, we can't complain, right? Like they're free platforms. Yeah. But if you want to be seen by everyone and everyone that you want to be seen by, it costs money. Like you're gonna have to pay for ads.
How do you feel about advertising directly through Facebook or Instagram and those things?
Oh, I think we have another 3 years left before everyone catches on, and it costs too much for the average person to afford. Like literally,
right?
It's not. It's even cheaper than it does now. It's still pretty cheap.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, okay, this Kimberly Loaiza, give me an example of how this would work, because I am curious and I think it's interesting. And again, I'm totally transparent in my stuff. I have no problem. Like it's about a learning curve. That's why someone like you, I know you're reputable. I have mutual friends, and I know you do a good job and stuff. Like this is something that in theory makes sense to me, but I just wouldn't want to just like go to a random place and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to spend X amount because I think it might be not legit, or I don't know if the actual results will come in. So let's just take this one. This is the next one. It's coming on the 15th. Give me an exact example how this would work with this giveaway gurus. Is through giveaway gurus? That's correct for this.
Yeah, we have
so how does that work?
So basically, if you were to be a part of the giveaway, you'll be followed by a secondary account. And that secondary account will be shouted out by this main account by Kimberly, and she'll be giving instructions, whether through a video or through a caption, on if you want to enter a chance to win X, Y, and Z, whatever it is. All you have to do is like, comment this post, follow this page, and follow everyone that this page is following, and that's really it. And basically, those people will follow those instructions for a chance to win, and then you gain that following. But there's a two-step, right? Because even after you gain that following, what are you going to do with it? If you're aware that this is a South American following, if I were you, I would start interviewing like South American players. Or if you're in South America's playing poker, or you have content in the South America. It's like I would do stuff so that they's like, oh, okay, cool. This is just a random guy that's in a part of a giveaway. Like integration is key, right?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Okay, but so give me an example on the metrics of that. Because let's just say what percent you think it. Let's just you're estimating maybe 100,000 based on the giveaway work.
That'll be 250,000.
250,000 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And how does Facebook/Instagram view that type of thing? Like when these type of things happen, can they mess with it? Does it like, how does that look? Because let's just say, I'm just saying, if you follow me and you watch my stuff a lot, right? Like, so if someone's watching it, they're one of the people here on the podcast, they check my Instagram page every so often. Like people in the industry, like I have a good idea what Jamie Staples has, Lex Veldhouse. I know where everyone's kind of at in Instagram just because it's interesting, right? And I pay attention to these things. Now overnight, if I go from 40,000 to 300,000, I mean, I guess, okay, that makes sense, but it may look a little funny. And is it really how much do you expect to drop out of those gains from the giveaway? How much would just immediately fall off usually?
It would really depend on like how what you do to retain those followers, right? Again, the content stuff, but also at the same time, like when you do giveaways, which I recommend to everybody, is like I wouldn't hide that you're not, like I wouldn't say that you're not doing them. Like the thing is, like I'm so public about it. Like when I did the giveaway, I'm like, hey guys, enter this giveaway. I'm a part of it too. And the thing is, like when people see an influx of growth, they don't go, oh wow, that's fake, blah blah blah. It's like, no, like it's done through the giveaways. Like this is an actual way to grow your following. And then it's just like that, because the thing is, before this, what people would do, they would pay $500 to buy fake followers and have 1 million followers, whatever. And that's what you and I are just seeing, which is like all foolish, like all bullshit. Like there's no way this person should have 1 million followers. What they do, they're getting 10 likes a photo or 5 fucking comments. Sorry, I'm cursing.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, and so give me the 2 examples then. I come to you, I'm Jeff. I say, Brenden, I want to do this giveaway. Give me both examples. One's supposed to get you 100, one gets you 250. What is the price? How does that work pricing?
Since the international one international is going to be cheaper, right? Because it's not an American audience. Because most of the businesses and brands that we deal with want an American audience. So the American audience for 100,000 followers is around $10,000 for a slot. For the 250,000 followers, which is done through Kimberly, she's international, but that could be about $8,000 for that slot. It's more followers, but it's cheaper because the audience isn't based in America. It's based globally.
Okay. And very interesting. I mean, it's super interesting. I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, man, if I do that now, I go to like 400,000 essentially overnight or in like 2 weeks. It sounds crazy, but again, like it's more about, I'd be worried that it's legitimate. But the cool thing about these is it is real people. There's actually people actively following the giveaway, clicking, doing it. There's no robots. There's no, it's not fake at all, because that's the thing. I know, like I've seen cheap stuff where people say, hey, I have $500, I'll get you to 200,000. And it's like, well, that doesn't do anything for me. I don't care. I don't want a 200,000 fake account. So, but this is like, you're paying for it, but they're real people. And interesting.
You're paying for an audience. It's no different than paying for a collaboration or
right.
advertisement.
And how many people generally do this? Because so just to understand the economics of this, the influencer gets approached, you guys or whoever, maybe it's like, is it just you doing this, or is there like several people that it's your giveaway, one spot?
No, I'm a gear in this whole machine. Like I've got a bunch of partners.
I'm saying, like, is the giveaway gurus, is that like the organization doing this, or does this woman, let's just take Jake Paul, right? That's who the next one is, with Jake for 100,000 for 10 grand to do that. How does my understanding, how I've heard in the past, like they have basically negotiated a rate, right? So they get paid amount to go through with this giveaway. They get paid. Now, their number, is it based on the number of people that pay the group, or are they just a set fee and you guys try to get as many as you can? Like, it's different
per influencer and per celebrity. It's different.
Okay, so deals vary.
Some people have prices. Some people want to have a piece of it. Some people will do a little bit up front and a little bit on the back end, or they'll do zero up front and then on the back end. Like, it just depends. It's never like set. Like, it's always.
Okay. But is there, so I guess that's, yes, okay, makes sense. So it's just, like a typical giveaway, though, there could be anywhere. It's a wide range then, but it's just a matter, that's where you guys, that's where the business comes in, the contacts, having people to go. And that really comes down to the bottom line, because it's the giveaway's happening. So it's up to you. If you get 10 people or 100 people, that's a big swing. And then you have to pay out. Okay. Makes sense. Very, very interesting. All right. Well, I'm interested, so I'm maybe give that a go here at some point. We'll have to chat. Tell me a little bit about the Dropshippers. This is something I know you said you've had a pretty successful business with this, but currently you've got your clients and you're not really. This isn't something you're looking to add to. But what is this exactly? How does that work?
Okay, so basically in 2019 we built a massive company that's all focused on automating dropshipping businesses. So we have employees internationally, and we took on clients from America from Canada to Australia, etc. And what they did is they paid us an X amount of dollars to manage their store for them, utilize their credit lines, and build them an income through e-commerce. We manage their stores. And we hit about 500 clients this past year. So we blew up really, really fast. And then Q4 was a bit insane. So literally we're just focused on the clients that we have right now, so we can give them our full attention.
Interesting. Okay, so that's one of your, and we put serial business owners. So these are you have your hand in several pies, and it looks like you're kind of keeping with the times and moving. So it does seem like this, especially in this industry, it does go quickly, right? Things change, and you have to be up on the algorithms. You have to be up on what's going on and being ahead of the curve, because things really do overnight shift. Which Instagram's hot. There's other platforms. Tell me a little bit about TikTok, Triller. Do you use either? Do you have thoughts on those platforms?
I think TikTok is freaking amazing. I have not jumped on it yet. I re-upload some old content there once in a while, but nothing really taken off personally, because like I'm looking at the trend, and it's a completely different platform. It's a completely different algorithm, but it's definitely worth learning, just because this platform literally has no limits. Like, you can have 100 followers on TikTok and have a video that goes viral and have 1 million views. Like, you can't do that anywhere else. You can't do that on like Instagram or Facebook. Like TikTok, you can become, your content can go viral randomly. And so as in like Facebook and Instagram, we're posting once a day, or even once a day is a lot. Once a week is like somewhat acceptable, right? On TikTok, you can upload an unlimited amount of times a day, and it's not seen down as, or you're not looked down on. Like, it's just a different platform completely.
It's really interesting. And what about Triller? Do you have any thoughts on Triller, or have you not?
I literally just heard about it. I don't even know what it is.
Okay. It's my understanding, and I have a friend pretty heavily involved, and he just sort of explained it to me, but it's a direct competitor with TikTok, and it's like music videos. So you're like you're allowed to use artists' music in the videos. And I think they have a partner with The Weeknd, some other big names. They have some partners that do music, but you're basically allowed to licensed music you can use in the videos, and it's very similar. But I don't know the full scope. I just know it competes directly with TikTok, and it's very similar. I guess TikTok is Asian based. It's owned from that group, and somewhere in Asia. I don't know exactly who, but Triller is in the US, and it seems to be growing very fast. And it's also short videos, has music involved with it, and I don't really understand, but it's definitely. It's in terms of growth and what's hot. Like, it seems to be a very popular amongst teenagers, young kids, and growing. So that's the thing. You just don't know, right? Like Facebook wasn't around. I remember in 2008, I was a freshman in college, and my friend told me, get on. You had to have an email address. There was a university to sign on to Facebook. And so this is 12 years ago, 13, 14 years ago, Facebook wasn't around. And now that's like the whole, how many people, billion in the world have it. They're doing incredible stuff. Instagram too. Instagram, there was an Instagram maybe how many years ago? I don't know. It's been around for 7, 8 years.
7, 8 years, yeah. I remember Instagram became a thing like right when I graduated high school, so like 2011 or 2012.
Yeah, maybe 10. I mean, I think I got on in 2012 and I was a little behind. So I just, but it's like, what's next? Twitter. Yeah. It's like, Twitter's kind of funny too. Twitter's like basically taking Facebook's, away, like status. When you remember, you used to like say what you're doing. It's like, what you're doing at the moment. They just basically pulled a piece of that. And same thing with Instagram. They took a piece of Facebook was uploading photos and doing it. And they just made an app for that. So, it's interesting. You just don't know. Like, you don't know what the next big thing is and what's going on. You got to keep up with it. We have a lot of questions, and we have a $55 giveaway on Twitter. And let's knock down some questions because this usually takes a while. So we're going to run through some of these. Is there anything else? Any other business type ventures or things that you are focused on at the moment you want to touch on? Or that's a lot. We already covered numerous different platforms you're doing. Anything else? Any other messages, advice if someone wants to do what you're doing? Not that you're looking to encourage super competition, but if someone says, you know what, I want to get into this field, this space domain, what would be some advice you would give to someone that's just trying to, like, that's at home, kind of lost, doesn't have a job, maybe, to try to break in or do something similar?
If you're in that kind of situation, like before jumping into what I do, social media wise, e-commerce wise, like I learned arbitrage. Like arbitrage is basically just flipping shit, like finding one marketplace, selling on another. Like, go like I don't know how to employ this more because like Gary Vee talks about it a bunch, but it's some real shit. Like I've seen kids that literally have no money left in their bank account. They go work a job, stack up $100, flip that $100 to 300, then 1,000, then 2,000. Like, because right now, if you're at home right now, you don't know what you're gonna do, but you need to make money. Like, dude, there's friggin' OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. Just go to Walmart, go find shit for cheap, and go relist it, and go sell that and make money. Like, it's like that's the advice I'd give anyone if they don't know what they're doing right now. Like, go.
Yeah, it's true now. It's a blessing and a curse in my mind that nowadays technology is so prevalent. There's so many options and opportunities like this. I mean, this phone right here, like this, you can do so many things at any time. Like you're always on, you're always in the mix, right? Like back 20, 30 years ago, you had to work, do something. But now it's like you can literally create, build, start a website, start something for not very much money and build something. You build your own business and be active. So there's a lot of opportunities out there. You just got to get creative, and there's information. There's a lot of on YouTube, internet. There's ways you can find, learn, become a specialist in industries. So that's good advice. All right, let's hop over. There are some poker questions. There's some random questions. Let's dive in here.
Do you normally get this many questions?
It's we got an interactive audience. It's good. Yeah, this is about right, I'd say. But this is considering that, again, you're not saying you're not a poker star, because I know you do well and it's a hobby, but this is a lot. I was more than I thought. Like I didn't think there'd be so much engagement, but this is good. So let's get right into it. Do you think the strategy playing poker resonates similarly to your strategy in business? I like that one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a simple saying that I've heard growing up my entire life, and it's a loser with a plan will beat an expert without one, right? Like it's the same thing with business, same thing with poker. Like I remember my first year playing poker. It was just like the first year running a business. I was definitely in the hole. I think I was in for over $100,000 my first year playing poker, and that was like being a degenerate, freaking like partying and then going playing, like not being like at my best state of mind. Or honestly, I think my biggest mistake playing poker is also my biggest mistake in business is that when you sit at a poker table, you have to realize like no one's your friend. Like I know that sounds, but same thing with business. Like when you're out there, it's like, dude, like it's a good thing to collab maybe, but like in poker, obviously that's not okay. But like learning from people, being mentored, learning your stuff, like it's one thing. But when you're sitting down at a table, you got to understand you're there to like, take everyone for everything that they've got. Like you have to have that edge in your head, right? Like when I sit down, I think about, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to ruin this guy's freaking life because he can't pay his mortgage this month because I'm going to take his whole stack. Like, I don't know. Like it sounds dark, but like it's the only way that like I can actually consistently be at my like, I don't know, to be sharp. Because when I play for fun, man, those swings are stupid and you just don't really care as much and you start making simple mistakes. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's how it's very similar when it comes to business. Like you just got to be you got to be on point. You got to know what you're doing. Like when you're playing cards, like it's not like be passionate about it, have fun doing it, but you're not there to have fun with your friends. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. There's a time to be, friendly and, there's time to be kind of cutthroat and you're going for it. And there's a time to be buddy. And I do think that there's just so many things you can apply. It's like playing golf. I don't know if you play any golf.
Oh yeah. Growing up, I did. I'm definitely getting back into it this year.
I'm not good, but it's like same thing. You go golf. It's not really about, shooting scratch or being great, but that you learn stuff about people. A lot of business is done on golf course or at the poker table. You get to understand someone. Are they honest? Are they ethical? How do they handle a loss? How do they handle when they win? Are they gracious? You can really get a lot out of, you can learn a lot about someone in doing those things. I actually just noticing right now was a pretty big typo here, but it says Brenden is a series business owner, which makes no sense. So it's supposed to be serial, SERIAL. And I actually made a note because there's a question about it, and I specified it. So my man is like 99%, but he can't be perfect in 2020 officially. That is we're already there goes the perfect game. So either way, we'll move on from that. It happens. I actually see the next question. Owner of what series is the question? So serial. We're serial. We'll just move on from that. Where did you start your job? So where did it start? Where did it officially, like, you woke up, saw the light, and did you create a website, created an Instagram account, created a target? When did you actually get it started?
I mean, like my business now, or when did I become an entrepreneur? Like which? It's so
yeah, I guess let's go with become an entrepreneur. I think that's more more relevant.
So when I was 20 years old, I was pitched on becoming a millionaire, and you might have heard of this industry called network marketing. They call it pyramid scheme sometimes,
right?
Which it isn't, but I could see how people could think that. That's how I got my start, though. Like I didn't know what entrepreneurship was. All I knew was I had a really good job, but that whole industry really opened up like becoming my own boss to me, though. But that's how it started. Like I got pitched. And then I saw social really taking off. People were posting online. And while I was in that industry, I started building my social media platforms, and that's how it all started. But, it was more like a cocoon phase. Like, now I'm a beautiful butterfly in business. But before that, network marketing was how I got my start.
Awesome. What did poker teach you about running a business? It's sort of the same question, but is there anything that you would say that poker specifically you could say that you learned, like, at the poker table, this, and then you applied it?
Yeah. Play the man, and 80% studying, 20% playing. Same thing with business. Same shit. You got to keep up with the times. If you're executing 24/7, if you're playing 24/7, and the game changes, which the game in business and in poker constantly changes.
Yeah.
You got to study, man. Like it's so important.
For sure. No, it is. And every situation is different, right? You're going to play your hand in this specific spot. You're going to play differently against tourist versus a pro. You're going to play, if you have this many chips, they have that many things, different situations. It's not always the same, right? You got to adapt. You got to be on your toes. I agree with that. Biggest home game you've ever played. Do you play any home games or only at the casino?
Oh, yeah. I love home games. Home games are my favorite. Half and half, they're my favorite. Half the time, they don't have the cash, which always check if people bring cash, like if you're gonna play home games. But
right.
That sitting for 10 and walking out with a bit of 40, that was a home game in Texas.
Awesome. Wait, 20? What was it? 2040?
I sat down with 10 and I walked out with a little bit over 40K.
Well, and it was big. What was the stakes? Blinds, like
stakes. I told you it was a 1-2 PLO, but the straddles. It went from like 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128.
It's really like you're playing. Do you feel more comfortable playing online poker or in person? Do you play any online on WSOP or any stuff in Nevada or ACR or anything?
Nothing like that. I play like on like the Triple P apps and like Poker Bros and stuff like that with like my Aussie mates sometimes and stuff like that. But like I run definitely a lot better alive. But comfortably, I guess no matter what, online feels more comfortable. Like I'm on my couch rather than sitting in an uncomfortable chair all day.
Right. Do you have any plans for 2020? Goals? Anything in particular you're looking to hone in on, focus for 2020?
Really just focused on building all my brands and businesses right now, and hopefully play some more poker. Like I'm trying to play a lot more lately. It's just I don't know. I feel like it keeps me on my toes when I play.
For sure. Do you consider yourself a recreational or a professional, or somewhere in between?
Definitely recreational. Like I don't think I can ever become a professional poker player because a professional poker player would be someone that lives off of their poker income, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I keep that stuff separate, obviously, but I don't think I could ever be considered a professional. So I don't really. It's not really a goal.
Okay. And this is actually questions. I saw this a couple times. What is Wake Up Now? What is that? What is that referencing
Oh
to?
my
People
god,
ask
that
about.
was the first network marketing company I got pitched. Oh, these must be people that knew me from way back in the day. Like I told you, like when I started entrepreneurship, I got pitched on a network marketing company. That's how I opened my eyes to it.
Uh, um, okay. I see a couple questions. What did poker teach you about business? We answered that with the same questions. Do you know this? The guy must know you. Nadim Naziri says, "Who do you regard other than myself as the best poker player?" Do you know him? Because that's a pretty funny thing.
Uh, I don't know, I meet a lot of people online.
Yeah, maybe you play with them at the Encore site. He says, "Yeah." So who do you think is the best at poker? Who is someone you maybe play with live, or also just seen on TV that you really like think are great players?
Frick, there's just a huge list now, right? Like cash game wise, most recently it's probably my boy Kelly out in Irvine. Like I've never had my ass spanked so hard by someone in my life, especially recently. I was just like, I think he took me for like probably within a week over 15. I was just like, he just took me, like rode me, like it was just ridiculous. Luckily, I took other people later, but it was just like,
Yeah,
damn. I was,
he's got remember. He seems to know what to do in the spots.
oh, he's just been playing for a long time, and yeah, he knows how to change gears really, really, really quick. Like I think that's a huge thing I need to work on is changing my gears.
Okay, that's a fair answer. And who is it? This question from Argento: Is it hard for people to grasp the idea of being a friend versus being a salesman? Interesting. Talking about, I guess, like, because that also must be something you're dealing a lot with, right? You get people like, I consider we're friends, we're cool, but you're also maybe we're doing some business and stuff. So how do you kind of balance that, like being friend and selling
I mean,
stuff?
it's always like it just depends on the situation, right? Like for me, I never go unless like the environment is already set, like the parameters are set, like oh we're meeting each other for this, oh we're gonna talk about exchange of goods or services or time, whatever it is. But like if I don't just talk to people to like sell them stuff. Like I make new
Right.
friends every day, and if they happen to want to do something I'm working on or work on something together, or if they have something that I want to look at, like I don't see like I don't know. Salesman is such a weird word. Like I think of
Yeah,
as one.
it's got negative connotations. It's like it's true. It's like what you're saying. It's like if you got someone you think it's relevant for, like we talk business, or you say, hey, look, I got this giveaway. Like, yeah, it makes sense. Like it's going to be relevant to what I'm doing. I'm interested in it. You're not. It's like different if you go on like hard pitching guys, or like just trying to get your friends to do stuff that you don't think would be good for them, or it's not a great deal. But that term does have sort of sounds like negative, right? But it's not, it has that feel to it. So yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay. What was how did you first get into poker? Do you remember the first time you ever played with friends, or how you heard about it, what year, and what was it?
So I was 9 years old. I never took it. Wasn't like random. My uncle. This is the funniest thing ever. This is how I got introduced to poker. My uncle gave me $20 for Christmas, and then he said, "Hey, I'll play you poker." And he took it back in a poker. He took all my money, but I was 9. Like,
Wow.
but that's how I got introduced to the game. I got hustled.
That got you into it. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Or that was a first experience. But then it took a while, probably, right? You didn't play. It's not like you were playing the next day.
I didn't take poker seriously or like play a lot until I moved to Australia.
Okay. And yeah, someone else asked about Wake Up Now. So it must be your name comes up in Google or something. That must be it. Because this guy, I know what's up. He was even live in the chat. How's it going, Pugmillion69? Okay. And then what drew you to poker? And like what do you think is the thing that the excitement? What got you to like be playing so much now? What do you feel about?
I mean, like I hate blaming my genetics, but like, you know, I love the sweat. I am Korean. I used to gamble a lot, play blackjack. Like at one point in my life, I was literally playing blackjack to pay rent because I lost my income streams when I was like 21 or something. And then I got into poker, and I just realized like my swings were a lot less. You know, once I started getting it down and like I don't know, playing against other people instead of the house, and then you know, it was just different. Like you use more of your brain than playing all the other games in the casino. You know.
Right. Absolutely. No, it's nice. It is. It's fun. And it's even true. Like a guy, recreationals, they like it too. You a blackjack or let's say roulette double 0% every spin. You're losing $5.40 on a $100 bet. Just simple math.
Yeah.
Whereas poker, there's you know, you have control. You can decide when you put big money in or not. And you know, it's a fun game. Someone asked what type of businesses you run. We did cover that already. Professional NLH. What are someone asking Triton high roller main event this year. I'm rocking the Triton shirt today. I'll be in Jeju, South Korea. Any chance you play? Let's tournament. Yeah. Have you played any tournaments? Do you watch the Triton footage coverage? Are you familiar with Triton?
I watch the Triton footage. I definitely watch it, but like I've never stepped into that tournament role. I'm definitely down to try it, but like I've never really looked into it. Like cash is, I just like playing really big cash.
Yeah, it's fun too. Cash, you can go and especially you doing business, you're on, not really looking probably to stay for days in a row locked in. Tournaments are fun, but if it's not a professional thing, it's harder to do that because it does takes days and can be more of a commitment. So, what are the 3 most important human skills for a successful business? What do you think to be a business owner? What are some important traits?
Open to criticism. Being able to adjust quickly, like stutter step, and I would say like commitment.
Like it. What age were you when you earned your first money? So what was like when you got first some business return where you were doing something that was actually producing steady income?
Well, I had a job for 2 years from like 18 to 20, and that was decent. But I made my first 6 figures when I was about, I want to say 19 or 20. And then from there, it's just been, it's been a roller coaster, but things have definitely gotten a lot better in the past year.
What were you doing 18 to 20?
18 to 20, I was an architectural and structural draftsman. The complete random job. Like it's like nothing to do with what I do now. I have not touched a CAD program in 6 years. Like it's some random thing that like I've never really. Yeah,
that's cool though. That's fun. Sounds like a good, interesting thing to do though. Would you consider investing in poker career as a business investment? I guess that little English translation there, but do you consider investing in poker as a business? Like, I don't know if that makes sense. But
buy people's action or what started?
Yes. Yeah. Do you ever do that? Do you ever go to StakeKings.com and buy a sweat? You're familiar with that site?
I've seen it, but I'm definitely going to be more active with it this year. I didn't really understand it last year. I just saw it everywhere, but I didn't get it. But yeah, I definitely want to sweat with you guys this year, if I'm not already playing.
Yeah, for sure. There you go. When did you get your first tattoo? Let's talk about this. This is interesting. I have seen some of your Instagram, and there you go. You got tattoo, then screen popping up there. How many tattoos do you have? When did you get your first one? Tell me some about this. This is a lot. You got a lot, it looks like.
Definitely I have over 20. My first tattoo, very corny, 17 years old, ex-girlfriend on my shoulder. Oh, wow. Super corny.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right. And then, did you get it removed, or you still have it?
It's still there.
What's the initials?
No, not initials. It was like it's in Korean.
Oh, it's in symbol.
Yeah, it's in a symbol. So like people don't know, so it's fine.
Right. Yeah. It's almost like what? Okay. Yeah. It's not like a heart with 2 initials, U.S. initials. Or something.
Like that.
I got it. Okay. And tell me, 20. Wow. So what's one maybe the more meaningful ones, or ones that you really are like, if you had to tell someone about one?
I mean, like my tattoos that mean the most are the ones like when I was 14, I lost my best friend to suicide and like bullying and stuff, and those are the ones I cherish the most. But yeah.
Okay, so man,
I got that real quick. My bad.
no, well, hey, look, I mean, that's yeah, it's a lot of tattoos, and that's it. Looks like you have. Is that something you want to do more of, or is that you've got kind of? Are you good?
No,
You're ready to go more.
I'm gonna be tatted up all the way up and down.
Awesome. Oh, I love it. That's cool. I don't know what this means. How did? Oh yeah, how did? So you dropped out of school. How did your parents react to that?
I got kicked out of my house.
Whoa. What year was that?
I was 17 years old, so like 2011.
Wow. And what was that? So is that something now that they see you're?
Oh, no, we're good now. It's the best thing that could have happened to me. Like everything that I experienced after that, like family's family at the end of the day, and we're closer than ever now, so it's fine.
Very cool. Well, that's yeah. Sometimes the adversity in those type of situations can make you stronger and better, and that's good to hear that that's worked out now. We did talk about this already. Lucas 150494. This is we talked about co-founder Dropshippers. He did explain this. You got to go back in the vlog. Someone asked you like Tiger Woods.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, he's pretty special comeback this last year. A lot of questions about poker business. Do you have any resolutions or challenges in 2020? Any New Year's resolutions specifically for health, life, business?
I don't like resolutions. I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm just not one of those guys. I don't really think a new year means that, like, I don't know. I don't think it really means anything. It's just like, make a decision to do something, just do it. Like a year shouldn't really change that.
Okay. Do you do sports? Any sports you like to play, watch?
I grew up playing lacrosse, like high school and stuff, but obviously, with business and everything, I don't really have time for much of athletic time, but I definitely should get in the gym.
And how do you budget your bankroll or control your bankroll? Do you have a poker set bankroll? You keep an eye on that. You play games you play. I'm sure you're very healthily rolled, the stuff you're playing. But do you follow bankroll criterion on the risk? Like, do you go to the casino and say I have maximum loss, and if you win an amount, you leave, or do you just kind of go and play?
I go and play, but like the most I'll buy in for a night's like 10K, and I usually keep my poker money in cash in a safe and stuff.
Okay. Do you have any plans to play the WSOP? Would you play a $1,000, $2,000 World Series event? Does that interest you? I mean, the poker is always very packed and popular during the summer because of the World Series. A lot of people in town and games are good. But is that something that you'd be interested in playing?
I'm down to give it a try, but the cash games during that time are definitely a lot of fun. So it's hard to get away from it.
And your favorite song, music? Do you have any current music that you love that's just like you just like replay? Is there any songs that stand out?
I think the only consistent person I listen to is Russ. Other than that, that's about it.
All right. What's your biggest cash game loss, and what did you do afterwards? Do you remember a big cash game session that just like rattled you?
20.
20K. How did that? What happened after? Were you pretty upset, or did you just kind of lick it?
I just took a break.
The wounds.
Took like a 2-month break. I needed it. I really needed it because like the only reason I could even get that deep is that I got emotional about it, and like I couldn't just walk away and stuff. So I just needed to breathe.
Yep. Sometimes a good loss, motivates you and gets you refocused on things. I know sometimes after a bad beat or something, I get out and it's not really, I don't feel like I dwell on it and it makes me sad. Like it kind of makes me like, man, inspired and sort of say, hey, let's do better and let's get everything into gear. So Cookie the cat or dog person, or what do you got to do? Cat or dog?
What do you mean? Would I rather have a cat or a dog? Like I have a dog.
Yeah, are you a cat or dog person?
I'm a dog person for sure. Yeah.
Okay. What makes you happy after a tough day? What do you do for like downtime to relax?
Poker.
Poker. I like that answer. What's your favorite cigar? We got you in the cigar picture on the profile banner. What's your go-to?
Man, that's a hard one. Opus X.
There you go. Do you invest in stocks? And if so, what are your top 3 ticket symbols for the new year? Do you have any stocks?
I've got a wealth manager that does that stuff. I don't pick any of that stuff. That's just something I'm not interested in.
Yep. Your picture looks like a mafia boss. I'd agree. Where are you from? Korea, right? Korea originally, born and raised? Born and then moved to Australia and then to LA, Vegas, VL.
Born in Korea, then moved to California. Moved to Australia like 4 years ago. I just got back in August this year.
Okay, we got some other questions we already have answered. And was it tough in the beginning to start your business? Was it like, did you find it just some electric and fun, got right into it straight up? Or was it kind of like, man, I don't know, this isn't working, or this is tough and I don't know if I want to do it?
I mean, like, passion has to carry you through it. Like, no matter what, things will go wrong. Like no matter what, things go wrong. Like, it's being a business owner is all about like putting out fires. Like, something bad is bound to happen no matter what. Just how you really like react to it is what makes or breaks you.
I agree completely with that. Stuff happens, shit happens, bad things happen, business, life, everything. Things are going to go down. Someone asks, are you married?
No, I'm not married.
Not married. Girlfriend? Are you on the market? Are we doing a Tieger auction here? Are people gonna get to send in their resumes, or what's? Give us a little insight.
I'll keep that to myself for now.
All right, make you think, everyone out there. Good luck. So, all right, we asked a lot of good questions, a lot of interesting stuff. I think we've got to dive in. We've got a good look into Brenden, Tieger, and if you were to call to action, people watching today, I said that sounds very interesting about the giveaway guru stuff that we're talking about. Is there any other type of things that if people are interested to go check your stuff out, go check your podcast, or I'm sorry, your well, you have a Facebook page, I see. We'll show that here. You also have a YouTube channel, and then your Instagram. Is it fair to say your Instagram you spend the most time on, and that's the best way to keep up with what you're doing?
Definitely Instagram or BrendensTieger.com. Those are the two ways to get in contact with me.
Oh, there is a website. I didn't know you had BrendensTieger.com. So check that out, and there it is right there. Very cool. All right. So you do have a website there. There's the ways you can get in touch with Brenden. Check out all the things he's doing. I really appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and do a giveaway, $55 ticket, courtesy of you and Party Poker. Why don't you tell me when to draw it? Someone's going to win the 55 ticket, and then we will let you be meeting up, I hope, in Vegas or LA soon, or let me know if you want to come to a Party Poker stop this year and do some stuff. Maybe we could work out a cool collaboration, some kind of a televised like cash game as well with you, doing with a few people. We've done that before on one of the stops. There's Uruguay coming up. There's Bahamas in November. That's the one I would definitely say you want to go to. That's like one of the coolest stops. There's also Vegas. They have the party stop in the summer in Vegas. So, I mean, I'll be there. Yeah.
Let me know. I'll be there.
All right, I love it. So why don't you count us down? Tell me when someone's going to win this $55 ticket on your command. Tell me when.
Okay. Did I just say whenever?
Yeah. Now. Boom. Someone 55 coming in right there. LO Lasso Poker. I think they've won before. This looks like a familiar account. They might have a hack here, bro, because this guy just shipped it again, and maybe even his ticket, maybe 3 or 4 tickets. So pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. There's another win. But Brenden, man, I appreciate it so much. I know it was early. You said you had a dentist or some kind of. You said you didn't have a great night's sleep.
My teeth are messing with me super bad.
All right. Well, I do appreciate you rallying. Thank you so much. We're here in the UK. I'm going to win this Millions main event on Saturday. We'll see you on a future stop. I appreciate it. I'm going to chat with you. Want to check in with some of the things you're doing after the show. We'll talk. And then thanks again, man. Appreciate the time. It was awesome. Really learned a lot, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. Leave your comments below. Check it out. This will be out on Spotify, iTunes, Apple, all the places, as well as the replay on our YouTube channel here. So thanks again, Brenden. Appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me, Jeff. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.